It's April 14th, 2016. I'm Gordon Soxton, interviewing my dad, Donald Soxton, with some thoughtful questions from National Public Radio StoryCorps um, project. And um, Dad, I got a question for you. It's what were your grandparents like? Tell me what you remember about your grandparents.
I don't have too many memories of my grandparents.
Yeah.
I remember I had one grandparent was a Hoffman, and the other one was a grandparent was my grandma, and she was a suction.
Mm-hmm.
She married into the suction family.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And she was kind-hearted soul, and my
Did you live near her for much?
no, not really.
Yeah.
Just in I don't even remember the city.
Yeah. Madison,
Anyway,
maybe?
yeah,
Or,
Madison,
okay.
Wisconsin.
Okay.
In Madison, I lost my train.
Your grandmother.
Yeah, I guess my grandfather and his brother lived on a farm,
Mm-hmm.
and grandmother on that side passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad's side, his mother lived a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
finally, I can remember my Uncle John saying to me, about he and was with his mother at the time, and where are we going with this?
Did John tell you like when Grandma?
Well, yeah, grandma just said, John, just let me go. You know, he was trying to. She wanted to pass on.
Yeah.
He was having trouble with that notion.
Right. Yeah. Okay. uh, when did you first find out that you would be a parent? And how did you feel?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't remember very much about how I felt at the time.
Yeah.
I know I can't remember what I was doing at the time. What was I? I was in South in California.
Yeah, me in California in 1962. Sometime because I was born in the fourth month of '63, so summerish of '62, Boulder Creek.
I guess how far the kids
But the first time,
lived in Boulder Creek. Uh, I think I'm thinking that you're all born in hospital in can't remember the name of
the Santa Cruz Community Hospital, I think.
the Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
That,
But yeah, because lived in Boulder Creek, but there was no hospital there, so you trucked us down to the beach hospital and trucked us back up to little town in the mountains and redwoods. When did you first find out my mom was pregnant with me? First time she was pregnant. When did you find out?
I guess when she told me, that's about all I know.
Okay.
I have no idea what the first time was.
Yeah. Okay. Do you remember the first time that you saw me for the first time?
No.
When I was born? No. How has being a parent changed you?
Well, I had responsibilities that I didn't have before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the primary thing.
Yeah. Be responsible. I know what you mean. And I got kids too, and you gotta like you realize that no, I can't do that. I don't want to go to jail and lose my job. I want to be able to take care of my family anymore. Um, that's the way I see a lot of things. What are your dreams? What were your dreams for your children?
Well, they did what they wanted, and it was legal, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I heard somewhere along the line, not from you, but somewhere it's like, if your kid's not in jail and they got a job, that's all you need to be happy about.
Leave it alone.
Anything else is just frosting on the cake.
Well, that's one way I look at it.
Yeah. Do you remember when your last child, when Dylan left home for good? Do you remember that?
It wasn't very long ago.
No.
It was, he was born in 90,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 20 and 10, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was a strong-headed child, as I remember.
Mm-hmm.
He,
What's his name again?
Dylan.
Okay.
Well, it's Joseph Dylan.
Right. But he's strong-headed as a child.
Yeah, and your mother and I took him over to I can't remember that Sylvan, Sylvan
Mm-hmm.
for a supplemental education,
Okay. Yeah.
and I got him real busy in Cub Scouts and then Boy Scouts, and he did pretty well in that.
How did all that pay off? Well,
What did his scouting?
Sylvan and the scouting activities.
Well, I guess I don't really put those two things together too
Okay.
much.
Well, how did Sylvan pay off?
Well,
You reckon?
he realized that we were serious about him being educated,
Mm-hmm.
and now we had to drive over to Terre Haute
Right.
once or twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
And, somewhere along the line he changed.
Clicked.
Well, he
So was the whole
when I was taking
yeah.
him to Sylvan, he said, "I don't want to learn too much. I don't want to fill up my brain with stuff that I don't really want to know."
Yeah.
And finally got over that notion.
Yeah.
But he still doesn't. He's not comfortable in having people working for him. He does it, but he just assumed not. But
Mm-hmm.
that's something that comes with growing up, I guess.
Okay. Do you have any favorite stories about your kids?
Well, none that I recall.
Yeah.
I'm sure that everybody had some foibles or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't recall things very well anymore.
Okay. How did you choose my name, Dad?
Another chose it.
Oh, never mind. Do you remember what I was like as a baby, as a little kid?
Uh, well, I'm sure your mother told you about all the things that you and your siblings
Mm-hmm.
got into
Not
and did.
really.
Well, she didn't tell you about going picking berries and things like that?
No,
You
not,
did? Oh, okay.
not recently.
Well, anyways, yeah, that was something that she and I talked about a little bit some time ago, not
Hmm.
all that long ago.
So what was it? Berry picking?
Yeah, it was. She'd she'd pack up the kids in some beat up car that we had
Hmm.
and go over to Santa Cruz and go to places where they had berry picking, or you could go in and pick berries
Hmm.
and take all four of the kids along.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
And in any event, you get all stained with berry juice, and
Yeah.
she'd take you swimming after that.
Well, as long as we're like, bleeding our hearts out, spilling our guts. Sometimes I eat so many berries out in that field, I get all stained on my shirt and get the diarrhea and maybe get stained on my underwear.
Oh,
And so nothing like getting thrown in the ocean to clean that up.
there you
Yeah. That's what happens when you eat too many berries. Okay, so uh, what were my siblings like?
go. Well, Joey was a real concern because he wasn't gaining weight like he should have.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you recall or heard it before, but he in the first, I don't know, I'm going to fabricate some numbers, but
Yeah.
in his first 7 months, he gained like 2 pounds or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And he was like 12 pounds or some silly thing like that.
Yeah.
He should have been a lot more than that.
Right.
And but he'd throw up milk,
Right.
and finally we just out of sheer frustration bought a milk goat and started feeding him milk, goat milk, and he started gaining weight.
You trying to say that Joey's part goat?
Uh,
You didn't say it. I did.
no, well, no, I'm not.
I know you.
I'm not doing that.
I know.
No, I
Well,
know.
what about Sharon? What was Sharon like? She's younger.
Oh, I guess she was a little sweetheart.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
well, for some reason or other, I mother had a sewing machine, and I says, oh, it's not that complicated, and I made her a couple of outfits with a sewing machine. I
Wow.
sewed some, and that was the first and last things I ever did with a sewing machine.
Little hobby.
I don't know.
I remember when you did some sewing, Dad.
Some sewing
Sewing. Yeah.
with a sewing machine.
Yes.
Well, I guess that's one way to do it. Well, it
Yeah.
must have been when I was making Sharon's
Outfits.
outfits. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about you already told us about Dylan, what about Buddy? What was he like when he was a little kid? Growing up, teenager even. What was Buddy like?
Well, it's hard for me to recall.
Yeah.
But he had problems with reading and
Mm-hmm.
getting in school, and